Hello, everyone. I am Janine, the Pricing Lady, and you are live with the Pricing Lady. Welcome, everyone, to the show. This week, I'm very excited to have a very special guest. Before I have her introduce herself and say hello, let me tell you a little bit about me in case you're new to the show. So I work with small business owners to help them understand what and how to price their goods and services so they can close more deals and have a profitable business for the long term. We work on all different kinds of things: packaging, pricing, value communication, how to handle the pricing psychology, and the tactics that you can use when you are in sales discussions with customers. So there's quite a wide breadth here. And if you have any questions at any time, you can always go to thepricinglady.com and check out more there. Thank you once again for joining us. And let me welcome my guest, Sonia Wilcox. Hi, Sonia.
Hi, Janine. How are you doing? Thank you for having me.
I'm great. Sonia, why don't we start off by having you introduce yourself to the community?
So, funny enough, my name is Sonia Wilcox, but I'm not English, neither American. I'm Spanish. I'm from Barcelona. And what I do is basically marketing communications. I accelerate SMEs, entrepreneurs, business owners that they really want their brand to go beyond what they thought it was possible through what I know best, which is digital. So go live online and help them communicate authentically and have the success they expect. So that's how I help people.
Okay, fantastic. So welcome, and I'm so glad to have you here. Now, we had a little discussion beforehand to talk about, what it is that we wanted to share with people today. And I think for both of us, I know especially for me, and I assume as well for you, a really important topic is packaging. So what I wanted to start this conversation and ask you is, when it comes to packaging, in your experience, how is that affecting what people are doing with their pricing?
So first of all, it's difficult to put a price if you don't have a schema or you don't have modules in where you can evaluate what do you want to put in there and how much can you bring and how much you can quantify it. It's very difficult if you say, I'm going to sell something online, but what? I don't know, of course, but what? I don't know. It's like there's 10 courses, there's modules, they will learn that, they will, this is benefit, this is this, and then they can quantify it and say, okay. Right. Now, sometimes I have two sides. In the one that they're extremely expensive because I think their expertise is really amazing and they go both. And the ones that they're very shy is like, no, and they give in and they give and they give, but they don't put their price properly and it's too low.
Right.
And therefore, the positioning is not right. So we have to find a balance between ones and the others. And that's basically what we do. I think that's very important.
Right. Right. I think the thing with packaging is it allows you to differentiate yourself in many contexts as well. So it actually improves the value perception that customers have. Now, are there certain tips or tricks that you use to help customers with that?
So basically, I like to, first of all, extract their whys. Why are they doing that? But the real why, not because the answer like, I want more clients or more money. That's everybody wants the same. It's right. Like, what's your true why? And once we get there, we try to find funky headlines, but something that is meaningful that will stop them scroll or will stop them on thinking. It's like, what's that? What do they mean? And try to be very interactive and not very boring, because I work for people that they do accountant or they do
pricing,
or they do something that is like, it's really boring, and especially women, they don't want to do. Right. So it's just like we have to bring back this expertise to a language that people understand, and they are interested and motivated to go on. Because everybody wants to do Pilates and yoga, that's cool. But when it's something about finance or about something more meaningful and they have to pay attention, it's like, I don't want to do it. And I think it's very important to do it, and in an entertaining way and in a funny way, if that's possible.
Right. So it's all about, so I call this So I have people, when I work with people, we talk about how do you introduce yourself when you meet a new person. We talk about how impactful do you feel when you deliver it, and how curious do you make people to ask you to tell them more, right? So
Exactly.
you want those headlines that make people curious enough, and people can be curious for all different reasons, but you want to make them curious enough so that they ask for more, or they click on the next thing, or they scroll further and read more about what you do, what you offer, how your products work, those types of things. So it's kind of this curiosity factor.
Correct. Lately, I work with a lady that she used to be, or she's currently, I'm not very sure, a makeup artist for a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, "Yeah, I'm done with that. I have been doing that for 30 years, and now I want to enter the coaching business, and I want to help people to improve their inner strength and motivate them to go beyond what they think and be happier. And I cannot find a headline." And I was like, "That's really simple for you." And she was like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "You're the makeup artist of their souls."
I love that.
That's true. It's like, yeah, because makeup in English is one thing, but makeup your soul means two things if you want.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh my God, that's brilliant." It's like, yeah, use it, because that's exactly what you want to do. It's like,
it is.
Put color in your heart, paint your with a new palette, your solar plexus. I don't know, these kind of things that sometimes I really don't understand that we're talking about. But it's just like, yeah, that's what you do. Right. And she was like, "Oh yeah," and it relates to your previous life or job. Mm-hmm. And she's like, "Oh my God, that's true." I had another case, a lady. She used to be a flight attendant, and now she works with this trained flight attendant.
Flight attendant, yes.
Yeah, she used to be a flight attendant, and now, since I think 5-6 years, she's being into inner strength as well, coaching people how to talk, how to communicate. And I said, well, basically, you are their pilot. And again, it also relates to her previous life. And a pilot means somebody that will guide you to bring you to the destination you want to go.
Exactly.
Then you will argue with me, like, the destination is not the real thing, it's the journey. Well, in her case, it's not. If I'm a client first, I want to get where I want, not the journey. Because the journey without you, I know how it looks like. I want a pilot that will fly me through. So we have to find things that makes you curious. Like, I will guide you and I will be your pilot. It's like, what?
What does that mean?
Exactly. What does that mean? Or I'm the makeup artist of their soul. It's like, okay. You see, it's like, what exactly does that mean? So that's what it's really important.
Yeah, no, that's great. I totally agree with that. And I think, sometimes it can be difficult to see those ideas or to come up with those ideas in your own business, which is why it's good to work with other people, because they can see things that you can't see. I mean, I can see some things in my business, but there are many more things that I just don't, I'll never see it because my perspective is so focused. Let's say focused and not narrow, is so focused, right? Another point that you brought up that I thought was really interesting is speaking in a language that's relevant to your customers, not custards, customers. Yeah. I think that as as an expert in what area we're an expert in, we tend to use a different language to talk about what we do or the results people get than the clients would themselves or the customers would themselves. I'm curious about your experience with, how can you align that language?
So what happens is most of the clients that they are experts in something, they try to speak to you like they will sell you their CV. They talk in a techie way that you don't understand a word. It's like, I'm an expert in economics behavior. And you're like, what? and they try to really pitch you something that is like, I'm probably your potential client, but I'm not understanding what you're saying. Right. And at the end, when you go to their page websites or you go to their Facebooks, you read it and you're like, I don't know what it does, but it definitely is not for me because I'm not connecting with it. So what I'm trying to do is de-escalate and say, okay, what are the benefits? If I go with you, what are my benefits? Because I don't want to be disrespectful, but it's just, it's not about you, it's about me.
Right.
What you do or what you have been doing or what, I don't care. I care if you can help me and how you can help me.
Right.
And sometimes they're shocked. It's like, but I studied psychology, and I started like, I don't care.
Which, I mean, for some people, in some cases, that may be very valuable and interesting and something they want to know. However, in order to get them to that point where they'd be wondering about that, you have to connect with them on some other level, right? Yeah.
Also, people need to understand their pitch like you would be 5 years old. In startups, that's how we use it. It's just like, pitch me like I would be 5. And it's true, it's an exercise we do because it's tremendously difficult for an engineer, for example, to talk normal. They talk in binary. They talk 1, 0, and that's about it, and nobody understood a word. So, and if you got to get funds or get clients, therefore you have to translate that in a language that people understand. There's no other choice. Right. So I help people to. Go ahead. So instead of looking at the mirror, it's like change the projector and put the light into the client. And who is your client? First of all, who is your client? A lot of people tell me everybody's my client.
Everybody. Did you hear that, everyone? You can't sell to everyone. You have to choose a direction, and it's going to make your pricing, your marketing, everything much more simple.
But you know why? It's not because you cannot afford all of these people. It's because your language will be exactly how these people talk. You will use the same words. You will use the same sentences. You will hang around the same people. And if you are broad, it's like you're shouting in the middle of a city, I sell you this, and 3/4 think you're nuts. But maybe 1% will be interested. That's your 1%. Right. You don't want to be shouting to people like you would be in a market.
Right. No, I mean, of course not. It's hard to be heard, right? That's the challenge. And from a pricing context, you end up needing to have prices over such a wide range, and usually end up pricing at the bottom of that range. And you end up, in the end, leaving a lot of value, potential value on the table, or having prices that really aren't right for anyone.
Well, talking about the prices is very interesting. I'm sure you have this experience, but it's people, they don't understand that they can upsell and downsell and upsell again. Right. I was like, what do you mean? It's like, well, you can sell your packages because there's people that can afford the whole thing, but people can afford just half of it, and people that quarter of it, and that's good enough. Right. But also the one that afford quarter of it and is satisfied might be that it will do the effort to go beyond. So you have to upsell and downsell is where people get lost. Right. So, right. You can do that. Yes, of course you can.
Of course you can. Yeah.
But people don't understand that bit.
Yeah. So let me say hello to all of you who are watching live. Thank you so much for joining us. We're talking about packaging up your offers and the relationship between your offer and how you communicate it with customers. So Sonia, another question I have for you are, what are some of the, maybe 1 or 2 of the main mistakes people make when they're packaging up their offers?
So first of all, they put too much or too little.
Okay.
They don't know they can do 3, 4 different packages, and they don't know how to market them. And also the wording. Sometimes, as we were saying, they use techie words that might be super beneficial for you, but you don't understand them.
Right.
And they don't know how to talk normally. And others that they are, let's say, they would like to be more sophisticated. They don't find words, and then they are fighting, and they put simple things that at the end, it could be very huge value, but they don't use the right wording. And when you read it, it's just like, nah, I'm not going to get nothing out of it. I talk about, especially people that they're in the yoga and the Pilates, they talk in these asanas. I don't know what. Yes, but if you don't put it in a way, you are like any other yoga or Pilates teacher. You have to say, what is the benefit? What are you going to get? How long? And you have to enter in the mind of people. If I do a package, what am I trying to solve? What are their pains? You see, you have to be in their shoes.
Yes.
And people is like, no, I do this because I'm super good in this one. And in this one too. And in this one too. It's like, but what's the purpose for this? I do this. It's like, I don't care. What is the benefit?
Right.
And that's really important.
Yeah. No, it's very important. I mean, over my years as well, my career, I've had some companies who spent years developing a new product only to get to the point where they were bringing it to market and realized it actually had no added value for the customer. And okay, most of us, and at this level, we aren't spending years developing our product, but we are spending time and energy and effort. And to do that and then have it feel like it's wasted because it's not fit for purpose is not a good outcome. So that's very.
I apply in these cases. I'm certified in design thinking, and design thinking. The concept is after 4 or 5 days with the key members of a group of a team, we get a product that is tested and it will work.
Right.
Might be a product, might be a service, but the key people have to be involved. We are 4 days playing around with post-its and words and this, that, and that. But after these 4 or 5 days, we know if this product gives any value to the market and if it will work or not, and the usability of it.
Right.
Because sometimes isn't of any use. Might be very valuable, but there's no use of it.
Right.
So with most of my clients, without them knowing it and without me realizing, sometimes it's like, I'm applying this. And it gives a lot of input, and it's really, really good.
Right.
I help them with that, yeah.
Excellent. So what do you think is then really needed to get it right, to get this packaging right?
The first thing is your positioning. How do you want to be known? If I leave the room and they will talk about you, what would they say? It's like, Janine, the pricing lady. What? Yeah, she puts you in the market with the right price, with the right product in the right place. Right. Okay. That is a good impression. It's like, it's clear for me who is Janine. So the positioning is really important. Then what are your KPIs? What are your expectations? Because sometimes their expectations and the real expectations are totally different. And we have to be very clear to not have anybody disappointed.
Right.
To do market research, a lot of people say, yeah, I sell to everybody. That's it. Okay. But where? Worldwide. Oh, great. Who are you? Coca-Cola? Okay. Yeah. And so we have to know the positioning. We have to study our market very well. Where do they hang out? What do they talk about? What are their concerns? What stops them to sleep at night? These kind of things.
Right.
And then see the pricing. That's very important, because there's people that's like, no, it's for 50 francs. It's okay. And it's like, yeah, there's people that are charging 200 and they are doing very well, because price is a concept. Means nothing and means everything.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And so it depends of your perspective of what you think of. And it's like, oh my God, this is so expensive. Depends for what? If you get the results, it's not. If you paid $50 but it was useless, it's super expensive as well. Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's a question of perspective. So that's how I help them to go through the value, through positioning, through the branding, the channels they can use, because there's people, they want to go through channels. I don't see why you should go to Pinterest. Is not a relevant market for you, or why to do Facebook ads if you are really into corporate life, or you're targeting corporate companies.
Yeah.
That's the point. That you would be present, okay, fine, but you see. Or do for Instagram when you do, I don't know, you edit text for medical companies. I don't see. So we have to choose the channels, the KPIs, the positioning, the branding, the packaging, the prices, and go to market.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
so
very important, choose your audiences. If you have cold audience, what to do? If you have warm audience, what to do? When you have hot audiences, what to do? Is not the same.
Different strategies for different audiences. Yeah. Makes sense. Absolutely. Well, great. I don't know if you can believe it, but we are just about out of time here.
No way.
So thanks again for all of you who have joined us live. That was really great. I have a couple of more quick questions here for Sonia before we wrap it up. Also, thank you for your comments. So Sonia, I have three questions for you, quick ones.
Yeah.
What's the biggest pricing mistake that you've made, and how did you learn from it?
Work for free.
Okay.
Because I didn't believe in my value, and therefore I did a lot without considering that was valuable. And afterhand, I realized it was valuable, and I worked for free, or I put very low prices. And then I was overloaded with work, and it was not even worth the money, even if it was little money. That was a big mistake.
Good, or not good, but glad that you learned from it.
I learned.
What is it that you'd like people who are listening now or who watch later, what's one thing you'd like them to know?
Don't sell yourself per hour.
Uh-huh. That's
It's also one of the mistakes normally people do. It's just like, do not sell yourself per hour. It doesn't matter if you're a care practitioner or if you are a yoga teacher. I don't care. Do packages, these packages of 5 sessions, 3 sessions, wherever there is.
Right.
That makes sense for you and for your customer, because you're bringing value as well.
Right.
And your time is valuable and their time is valuable. Therefore, do not sell yourself per hour.
Right.
Big mistake.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. Last question. If people want to find you, where can they reach out to find out more about how to work with you?
So they can find me on my website, which is my name with a .com behind. And in LinkedIn or in Facebook, I think I use the same name. Okay. I'm visible. Meaning I work in digital and I'm not very present because I work for others. So I'm constantly working for others, but not in my own thing. But you can find me anywhere. Yes.
Okay. Excellent. So that's at soniawillcox.com. I'll also put it in the comments so that you don't have to remember how to spell it and you can just click on the link.
Yes.
Sonia, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. We had some really interesting insights and inputs there for the community. I hope you enjoyed yourself as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun. Always short, but fun.
It's always short. Exactly. It is very short. And to those of you who have joined us live, thank you so much for joining. If you're watching this later, I'm glad that you stayed with us the whole way through. If you have questions about how to improve pricing in your business, why don't you go ahead and check things out at thepricinglady.com. There's some great tools and things that you can find there that you can start using to improve pricing in your business. That's what we have for you today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining. And until next time, enjoy pricing, everyone.
Bye.